Hey, welcome back. Mark and Joey here again. And Joey, we're going to move into the NBA. We're so excited to have the NBA start this week. Obviously, we're from Toronto, Canada. If you're new to the show, we're the champions. We're looking forward to another exciting season, although we lost our, obviously, the MVP of the playoffs. But we're very confident with what we have left on the team this year. And they've started pretty good, 1-1. So, but here's somebody who isn't as good, who was part of our championship run last year, is the Warriors, and what is going on?
Yeah, so big problems obviously out in Golden State there. They've had two big blows to start season, and Steve Kerr says not a one-off, so it's interesting to see what will go on there. I thought that...
Not good to have your coach saying right at the start of the year.
No, and I thought D'Angelo Russell would be good enough to replace Klay Thompson, but there's something on the defensive side of the ball right now. They are not looking very good. No Iguodala, too, along with Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson.
Sorry to interrupt. 141 points against. That's not looking very good. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, we're in an age where they score lots of points, but that it's an absurd amount of numbers.
An all-star game number.
I don't really know where they want to go from here. Obviously, this year is gone. I don't questions of a playoff team. You know, Charles Barkley said it to Klay Thompson live on air that they're not a playoff team, and I'm inclined to agree with him because he lost to OKC, which really got rid of all their best players and only got Chris Paul out of it and actually destroyed Golden State. And a new arena for Golden State too. Steph Curry's shooting has looked a little interesting in the new arena.
I gotta get in here. I gotta get in here because I got slammed when I first mentioned this not 6 months ago, but close, 3-4 months ago. Curry to the Raptors, gonna happen. Father played here. He couldn't do it while the team was good. Couldn't do it when they had a chance to win championships. Obviously, this is a team that already the coach is saying it's not a one-off. They're gonna be bad. Why do you keep Curry around when you get some draft picks and some young players? Raptors, are you kidding me? You add Curry, there's another championship run, and I'm calling it. Everybody said I'm crazy, but they're bad. That's what I said they'd be this year, and I said that Curry would be moving to Toronto. Watch it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen only because I think Golden State will feel when they get Klay Thompson back, all of a sudden they'll be back as contenders. I mean, you got to remember, before Kevin Durant, they were contenders. They're also expected to get Iguodala back next year. So he's going to have to play his 1 year that they trade him for a couple picks and because they knew this year was going to be bad. They're going to get him back when his 1 year contract's up with the team he's with now, and he'll be back next year. So they get Klay, Iguodala back, still have Green, Curry, D'Angelo Russell. I don't think that they're going to give up on this team looking towards when they get healthy once again. Obviously, it'd be great for their eyes, but I can tell you one thing. Raps don't want him. They got a big contract with Lowry and Siakam, but you don't want VanVleet on the bench. He might be your best player right now. You can't put Lowry on the bench. He's a good player. You can't put Siakam on the bench. I mean, I don't see where Curry fits right now with this team.
Best scorer in history, maybe at his position.
No, but there's something to chemistry we talked about.
We're gonna debate this. I'm throwing it out there only because I think what's going to happen. You got a brand new arena for the Warriors. You've got fans who are going to give you some time.
So you're going to trade their best player too. That makes a lot of sense.
And you're going to build towards having another dynasty. I think you have to do that. Even the players you're talking about coming back, they're all getting old, including Curry. And these guys are not going to be a dynasty again. So you're going to need to see the future in this new arena. Anyway, that's our pick. We could go back and forth for a long time on it, but that's what I'm calling. I called it before. I just wanted to bring it up again because I might be right now than I was before. Okay, let's talk about our Toronto team. Can they repeat? What's going on? Looks like a good team.
Yeah, so it looks like a good team. Obviously, the Raps off to a pretty good start. I mean, 2-1. I mean, they lost to Boston, but they lose to Boston all the time. They even lost to them last year.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's crazy in the regular season that they can't beat this team. Really has been a staple since 2015. We haven't beat them.
Yeah.
The Raps look good enough to repeat because of the defensive side of the ball that Nick Nurse has been able to develop here, and not many teams play defense these days. So when you roll into Toronto in a 7-game series come playoff time, because they will be a playoff team. I think they'll be a top 4 playoff team in the East. Who's really to stop them again in the East? Philly should be the team. Milwaukee could be the team. There's not much else out there. Miami's going to be a good team to beat the Raptors. I doubt it. Boston, I doubt it. Brooklyn, with only Kyrie, unlikely. He's really a one-man show out there. They're going to be good enough to get the playoffs, which will be good for Brooklyn. Next year when KD comes back, even at 75%, Irving's really showing on his own. He's amazing. Yeah. And they got DeAndre Jordan. But right now, this specific year of going back-to-back is very possible for the Raptors.
Well, Joe, you brought it up.
Because in a 7-game series, they're a stud on defense.
Yeah, and you brought it up. You know what? When you go into playoffs, you can stop talented scorers. Yes. You just set up a strategy.
Yes.
You can't you can't get your forwards to play better defense against a good defensive club like the Raptors. So, and they can score. I mean, this is really a team which was amazing that they had Leonard the lead last year, but had enough players behind him to win. I think, I might be wrong, but something like 19-3 when Leonard was out of the lineup in the regular season. So why was everybody so worried? We're not. I don't think we're that worried. I think Leonard's a great playoff player, and it's going to be tough to replace.
I don't think we were.
But that strong defense is going to be tough.
I don't think we were worried, but you wanted him.
Well, as soon as Leonard left, a lot of people were like, "Oh my God." They were in that, but not now.
Those are and I don't think those are people who maybe don't understand like the extra parts of sports. Yeah. I mean, they're lighthearted fans, which is fine. When the team plays good, they jump on board. But really, if you follow the Raptors, they had so many good young guys, and the fact Van Fleet couldn't be a starter with Leonard here was a crying shame, truthfully. And OG Anunoby's coming back too. He didn't play all of last year, and he was one of the best stars that we got in draft. Early on, in his career. So he came back this year. Van Fleet's going to get on the court all year long. Lowry's still looking good. Siakam continues to get better and better. They kept Marc Gasol, which I think was important there.
I agree, 100%.
Ibaka, I mean, really, this team, if anything, is as good as last year without maybe the veteranism that Leonard did bring, I must admit, on the defensive side of the ball come playoff time. And he had a couple scoring runs where we needed them to get back into games. But really, besides that, as an all-around team, just as good and maybe better because chemistry-wise, I think this team likes each other.
Well,
they want to win together.
There also isn't that number one focus that there was when Leonard was. That's all they talked about. And but anyway, I think a repeat is very possible, but deep in the playoffs no matter what. I think.
Well, I think definitely they'll get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay, biggest disappointment of the whole year. Zion has got an injury. And, boy, people were looking for him to be great this year.
And you know what?
Too bad.
It's an injury history.
Yeah.
It's not just an injury. It's a history of injuries. And it doesn't look promising because he's a big man. He's 6'7", playing the center position. Weighs, not that he's fat, but he's just big. And, people underestimate the fact of just being healthy with these guys in the NBA. You look at Shaq, you look at LeBron. Couple of these guys were able to stay healthy. It's harder to do than you think because their bodies are so lengthened with their height, and I think
they play a big weight even when they look skinny on the court because they're 6'5", 6'6". They're all well packed and very heavy on those legs all the time.
But they're also asking, which is interesting, big men to do more.
Yeah.
When Shaq played, I think part of the reason he was so healthy was he didn't do much. I mean, he dunked it and rebounded,
kind of walk back,
which is a great
wait for his team to get back to him.
Right, and it's a great aspect to have on your team and a great player to have. Obviously, he's one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
But now they're asking someone like Zion to shoot the ball, shoot the three. They're telling Ben Simmons to learn how to shoot the ball. They're asking him to do a little bit more. I'm interested. Honestly, this could be a bust. It could be good. There's been other players like Blake Griffin who had the same issue. There's actually only been 4 to miss their first game to be number 1 pick. One of them, I remember off the top of my head, is Blake Griffin. He's going to have a decent career, but not the career they expect for Zion Williamson. So we'll see. They're expecting big things like LeBron James type things.
Yeah.
We'll see going forward.
Injuries are played all the time. That's the difference, right?
Did he ever?
He has a little bit of history, which is a worry. And, sometimes when you go after that number 1 pick, you got to be thinking of those injuries because they got to play to be a number 1 pick.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right, we're on to number 4 here. Who's the better LA team? This is going to be an interesting conversation all year, obviously.
The early game doesn't tell you much. I mean, obviously, the Clippers went out and won it. AD and LeBron are finding their gigs. I mean, you got to remember, Kawhi's still playing without Paul George. So really, his way of playing hasn't changed at all yet because he's just the best player. He gets the ball, he goes scores. Once Paul George comes back, I'm interested to see that chemistry work. Obviously, LeBron and AD are working on their chemistry as we speak. Who's going to be the better LA team isn't about the first game of the season. It's not why I brought it up. It's about, at the end of the season, who's going to be the better LA team. Who's going to get to the finals. I am going to roll with the Lakers. And actually, the funny thing, too, part of this topic is no one wants the Clippers to win despite that they got Leonard and George. It's amazing. He was booed playing against the Lakers. Like, my God. And he was technically the home team. Kind of why I think you need your own stadium.
Yeah, no kidding. It's the weirdest thing ever.
I do think the Lakers will be the better team at the end of the season.
Yeah, you know what? I got to disagree. We watched Leonard for a whole year. This guy is unbelievable, and he can play both ends of the court, which is amazing. I think the Clippers are going to really form into this kind of team that Leonard came in. He's led 2 teams to the finals.
Well, now,
I mean, and he's only 27, 28 maybe now. He's that young, and yet he's taken 2 teams to the finals. This guy has the magic. He plays. Now, I will say about Leonard, just as we said about Zion, he has an injury history.
So does Paul George.
If they don't manage Leonard, that could change everything. But if all the players play, I think the Clippers are the better team. I think mainly because of playoffs, because Leonard will lead a defensive team, and that's really critical in the playoffs. I think he could do that.
I do agree with you, but Leonard and George both injury prone.
Yeah.
LeBron and AD have stayed relatively healthy throughout their careers.
Yeah.
They're also missing a couple players that are going to come back. One of them, Kyle Kuzma, he'll come back. It'll be interesting. Danny Green's looking good, so it'll be interesting coming down the stretch.
But we know it's going to be about injuries on the Clippers.
I'll tell you what, book it. They're going to be I hope Houston messes this situation up, but probably the top two teams in the West and in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and that'll make viewership unbelievable for the NBA. So next one is interesting. Giannis leaving or staying in Milwaukee.
Okay, so Giannis Antetokounmpo. The only reason why I probably thought I would have never thought to bring it up is he mentioned it. He said it. He goes, "Yeah, if we're not successful, it's hard to re-sign." I was like, "Okay," and I'm sure the GM was like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" So now the biggest question is, leaving or staying? Sure. What is that level of success he's asking for? Is it to get to the finals? And if he doesn't get to the finals, is he guaranteed to leave? And where does he go? I mean, I could see something being appealing, like a Miami situation with Jimmy Butler, Miles Leonard down there. Maybe up in Brooklyn or New York. I don't know, but there's not many good options for him that doesn't already have stars.
Yeah.
I heard the Raptors wanted to go after him at one point. That would be a juggernaut team right there. But also, what level of success does he want? Is it a title or nothing for him? Is it getting to the title or nothing? I mean, I don't know.
But Joy,
wow, what a comment. What a comment.
Milwaukee, Toronto, Milwaukee,
Miami,
LA, Miami. It doesn't matter. It's better than it's going to be in Milwaukee for a long-term career.
Man, but...
And these guys, they get to understand that they're the key guys out there, and there's so much money in the NBA. And if you aren't winning, that's the time. People stay in New England because they win Super Bowls and Tom Brady's there. But you got to have that to keep that. People would not play in New England without that combination. So, you got the same thing in basketball. Why play in Milwaukee? Let's face it. As soon as you have an ability to make enough money and go to a team that's got some pizzazz, got a team that's got a chance to win, I think it's logical. I never thought about it. You wrote it down on the page here this morning. I'm going, well, crap, of course he could leave Milwaukee. Why not?
Right.
So it's interesting.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, though.
Monitor that.
They've gone out and signed his brothers. They're trying their best.
Smart.
They keep them.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So we'll see what happens there. Russell Westbrook passes Magic for second all time.
Wow.
Interesting enough, probably on one of his worst games he's played. He was like 2 for 13.
Oh,
in the game. So,
well, I'll tell you what, though, this record, it's tough. I mean, records are records, and I don't ever like to get into arguments with people because it's unfair to compare any era to era.
Yeah.
Golf's the only one where it's kind of an individual sport,
but we also know in basketball it's also built.
But basketball, it's tough.
Because if you're an offensive team, guys score.
The style of play these days is all offensive based. It's not defensive based. He's now on a team with James Harden. He was once on a team with Paul George, James Harden, Kevin Durant. Then he was on a team by himself where he literally could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Congratulations for the record.
Milestone.
It's a big milestone, guys. If it was easy, everyone would be breaking Magic Johnson right now for second all time. But he's the only one. He's passed Magic Johnson. He's second all time. He's got one more to go. Still good for him.
That's far off.
It's far off. He's done a good job. Hopefully this propels Houston, but good for him. Good record, and congratulations.
Yeah, every record's you can talk about style play, years that was done, but like you said, we've always said that even about Gretzky's records in hockey.
It's impossible.
Is that what? Everybody would be doing it, as you say, if it was that easy. Let's
do our criteria. What do we always say? What were you against your current competition? Yeah. And the fact is, no one's done this that Russell Westbrook's doing, so it's a valid record.
Yeah.
And that's our only way, in my mind, you can compare anyone. It's like Ovechkin's goal record. Compared to everyone else, he's the best. So, that's where we do records around this house, is what are you against your current competition?
Current guys,
because you all are
and
great.
How much space do you have between being you? Gretzky was so much better than everybody else. You get guys like... you get guys even in basketball with a Shaq and way back when the big guys, skipping my mind right now.
Larry Bird, Oscar Robinson.
All these guys were...
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's what I was trying to get to. Well, he was Gretzky up here. And that's the difference. And he's that player right now for this generation. He has scored all these points. It's a huge milestone. So we're happy for him and congratulations on making that happen. So the next one here...
You don't know the name? Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, I was going to let you go on that.
Yeah.
I did read it. I'm thinking, I don't know this guy, so you talk about him.
So the story of him, he's arguably the biggest bust in the NBA ever. So he was highly touted out of college, first overall pick by Philadelphia, and until this year had played 36 games in 3 years.
Wow.
36 games. He's had many injuries. In fact, from the free throw line, he started shooting one-handed.
Oh my God.
He started shooting on-handed. Now, he's gone from Philly. Okay, he's gone to Orlando, which is basically barely an NBA team because no one knows they're there. They get fans. They get fans. Just like it was smart. You know, if you're gonna go to a team, that's a smart team to go to.
Yeah.
You know, he rehabbed. He got better, and now he's there, and he's looking pretty good, guys. And what I'm trying to say is, we'll be back to what a number one pick should be. Probably not, but is he back that he can make a career out of what seemed like a doomed situation? I'm saying yes. I think he's looking pretty good right now. I think he's a double-digit guy. You know, like a 15 points a game. You know, a couple, 7 assists, which is a solid player in the NBA. Maybe 20 points a game if he got like way back to his old self.
Well, he's got some recognition in the league too.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Isn't this the guy they cheered for in the?
No. That's the next topic.
Oh, sorry.
Marco Fultz has been around.
Okay,
He's been around.
Right,
He's been around. The fact is, he hasn't played any games. He's the biggest bust in NBA history. You go Google biggest bust. Draft bust, he's number one. I mean, he never played.
I've never heard of the guy.
When he played, he averaged like 3 points a game, couldn't shoot free throws. Like I'm saying, though, he's got himself up to like where I think he could average 15 a game and maybe five assists, you know, which would be a decent point guard in Orlando. He could have a decent career going out. He's going to continue to be in the league. I'm just saying it's quite the comeback considering at one point, you know, I thought he would never play. Yeah. And if it wasn't for the fact he's the number one pick, teams would have totally given up on him, and now Philly did give up and wasted $36 million.
He's got pedigree
because they gave him like $30 million right out of college. But he is a number one pick. He has pedigree. He's in Orlando. I'm just saying, keep your eye on him. He's not going to be like a top 20 player in the league, but I'm just saying he could be a tipping point for this team in Orlando to a playoff team.
Okay, well, let's get to the next one, which is the one I thought this one guy was, and when we get to there it is, Taco Fall, yeah. So
Taco Fall.
Taco Fall. I was thinking about tacos going out to eat. But he's like not a special guy except for the fact that he's now earned fan support for some place.
Well, he's been a special guy ever since we watched him this year in March Madness, but he's 7'6", guys. Yeah. Or maybe I'm exaggerating, but 7'3". He's a giant. Like he's a giant. He's the Yao Ming, right? You know, he's just kind of.
I know he's got a big cheer from the opposing team's fans when he went on the court the other night.
Well, the size of his feet like blow people's minds.
Yeah.
You know, his name being Taco is crazy. His college career was quite hyped. Obviously, it was a second-round pick because besides height, I mean, he doesn't have a ton of. He has skill enough to be a Shaq. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you got to really break stuff down. Is he like a great skill player? No, but he's taking advantage of his height.
Yeah.
And he's a big guy down low, and he'll be in the NBA for years. He can get rebounds. He can put back. He can do a little hook shot, dunk. You know, go to the free throw line, all that stuff. But he got to fall in because he's such a great guy. And if you want to see another great guy, like he's like a JJ Watt of football.
Yeah.
He's such a down-to-earth guy. It's hilarious, but all the funny stuff he does on YouTube because of his height is absolutely it's just funny.
He's the only guy I've ever seen. I just tuned into the game because it's a terrible game, but the fans of the home team are cheering for him to get on the floor.
Yeah.
And he got on the floor, scored 4 points, and they all went nuts. And I'm like, I mean, I think I might have barely heard about him in college or whatever, maybe in the draft. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Who is this guy? And it was really funny to see that happening, cheering for him to get out there. So, you know what? Sometimes it's good to have a personality. Well, sometimes it's good to be somebody that people like.
Right.
And you're bringing something special to the game. And it was so much fun to see.
I just remember he took his shoe and put it beside a 1-year-old standing up. It was the same size.
Yeah.
Like, that's how big his feet are. Like, a 1-year-old who's standing up like this, and he put his shoe and tilted is like the same size as the kid.
Oh, my God.
So, you know, he's just, you know, sometimes it's good to be a good person.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So let's go to number 9 here. Pardon us, we've got some cutting the grass out of the studio here. Anyway, Houston Rockets scoring title, team title. What's happening there?
Right, so I just want to bring this up. You know, James Harden was, had a bad first game. They've kind of bounced back here. You know, is he going to go for a scoring title, or does the team get a title? And I just want to bring this up. Houston Rockets has been a team I've read for a little while. I thought they'd get done when they got Chris Paul. I thought he was a good compliment to James Harden here. Now they've gone and get Russell Westbrook. You know, is this just a team that might get some scoring titles, might get an MVP player, or are they going to go for a team title? Because in my mind, if you're going to go for a team title, these players are going to have to suffer as far as their scoring goes and their MVP candidate goes, because they're going to have to share the ball. They're going to have to get the team involved.
You got to go like when you're coaching minor league basketball, guys, you got to share the ball around.
Right.
It's going to have to do that to have Houston win.
So I brought this up to say, what are their motivations? What will they go for? I think they're going to go for the team title. I think they're going to work cohesively here, and I think they're going to try to beat off these LA teams, and quite frankly, are under the radar. Houston doesn't get that very often, guys. They've been the radar. They're now under it. You know, they get to be under LeBron and Kawhi in LA. It was the greatest thing that could ever happen to them in my mind. And now you got Russell, you got James Harden, you got guys on the wing that can shoot the ball. You know, I think this is a team that's found what they want to do now. James Harden's getting a little bit later in his career. He's got all the accolades. You know, he's gotten the MVP. He's got the scoring titles. He now knows he needs a title.
Well, I have to disagree with you, as I've always on Houston. But I think there's too many egos there. I think they're going to self-destruct.
They've already fought once. Yeah.
They're going to self-destruct as a team this year. They're going to trade people away, rebuild. You can't do this all of a sudden on the blue tell all these egos to start playing as a team. It's a good and bad thing in the NBA. You get lots of superstars, lots of scoring, and they want the ball and they want to be the main guy. I would be shocked, but I think it would be great for these guys if they have the ability, set aside the ego, leave it at the door, play as a team. I think they do have a chance because all the other moves within that division could disrupt those other teams too and give them a shot at doing that, but I don't think it'll happen. So there you go. Rockets, you think they'll be on the team side. I think they're going to be just like most NBA teams are, where the top guys want the ball, want to be the stars. We'll see what happens. They're talking about stars, though. Number 10, Kyrie Irving. What is this? Most points in a debut in history, 50 points. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and then the very next game, calls his shot, hits the game winner right in front of his pops, and then gives him the jersey.
Yeah.
No, he wanted to go home. You know, I think it was a little shocking to Boston fans when he made a short stint there. I mean, he wanted out of Cleveland to start. He wanted to be on his own. He is a superstar in his own right. Went to Boston. That situation got kind of messed up with Gordon Hayward and then all these rookies playing well when they were injured. Obviously, that was probably the worst case scenario. Right. That's why he knew he wanted to get out. He goes home, opens up with a 50-point debut. Fantastic, most point in history of the NBA for a team like in your debut.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, next game, calls his game winner, hits the game winner, turns around to his dad, who is from Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn, gives him the jersey. You know, Kyrie Irving, I think, is a misunderstood NBA player. I think he's been very, obviously, under LeBron for Cleveland.
Early on.
And then getting all the drama in Boston. Now gets to go to Brooklyn. And KD's not there yet, so this year will be all him.
Yeah.
And, you know, he'll be the star and kind of control the narrative of how the team's perceived. But I think it's great. I think he wants to be there. I think now the fans have a team in New York to cheer for. When KD comes back, they could be a force to be reckoned with. And I think it's cool. Obviously, I always love to see family people. Obviously, you know, athletes get a bad rap sometimes because stuff to say in the media, but they are human. Yeah. And they have families, and his dad's there on the sidelines. It was really cool.
It is good to see stars go home, just like LeBron did to Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to get the money no matter where they go. So it's nice they choose their hometown to go back to, and I think that's great. And what a great start to a career there. So we'll see how that goes, though. He did have a lot of problems in Boston, so we'll see what happens there. But he is the superstar in this team.
Controls the narrative. Yeah, he is the man, and the only other superstar will be his best friend and KD.
Yeah.
But they control the narrative right now in Brooklyn. I think that's important. He did not control it in Boston as soon as he got injured and the rookies came in. And that was the problem. And hopefully it doesn't happen here. And if it doesn't, he will control what is said, how the team is functioned. At the end of the day, they need the ball, him and Durant. And right now it's just him. He needs the ball. But really cool. By the way, cool court, cool jerseys. They're really young. I know what they do,
yeah. I love the court,
I mean, he even said that. Even KD said, why did you go to Brooklyn over New York? He goes, Brooklyn's young and hip. They're cool. Yeah. They're looking good, man. And you know, it's a very awesome city right now to probably be a part of and a team to cheer for sure.
Well, there you go. Our NBA top 10. This is going to be every week, and we're getting into the season now.
Yeah,
we're going to get pumped up. Obviously, the more we get in, the better the stories will be, and the more objective views we'll be able to have about teams and stars and all that good stuff. So there you go. We're going to take a short break. We're going to be back with the PGA.
Okay, that was 20